Welcome back to Sporting News' Eye on MLB, brought to you by Sony's new Xperia Ion smartphone. I'm Stephen Levine with senior baseball writer for Sporting News Chris Barr. The Phillies tied up Cole Hamels, $144 million over 6 years, the most lucrative contract in Phillies history. But now they've got three pretty high-priced pitchers in that rotation. There have been rumors that maybe Cliff Lee is going to get dealt before the trade deadline. Does this make that more likely?
I think so. You're talking about three guys now making at least $20 million a year, and that's just in the rotation. And you got Ryan Howard's deal. You've got a bunch of other big deals. So it's a good move for the Phillies to keep Hamels, but at a very, very costly price, because it's going to cost them, if not one of their three starters, it's going to cost them more talent, maybe an outfielder. And obviously it's going to hurt their spending this offseason because they're a team that's really, hesitant to go over that luxury tax. So their rotation is going to be good, and it's going to continue to be good, but it's very expensive, and they're starting to have to pay for it now.
Yeah, well, and they're pretty far removed from their 2008 World Series, where Hamels was, of course, the MVP. Are they, they're in rebuilding mode. Is this money well spent?
Well, it's a weird situation. They're in a rebuilding mode with veterans. So it's not like they have a ton of young talent coming through right now. They're going to have, even if, let's say they keep Lee, they'll have Halladay, Lee, Hamels, Rollins, Utley. They probably will lose Victorino. They'll still have Pence maybe. So they've got a lot of, their core is still very, very veteran. So it's not like they're going to bring a flood of young guys in to complement them. It's a rebuilding period, but they're not really rebuilding, if that makes any sense.
Status quo, but at the bottom.
Yeah, they're basically paying all their veterans a lot of money and hoping that they can get a couple youngsters and maybe a couple cheap guys in the offseason to come join the core. So dangerous move. It's a lot of money for a guy who is in his prime, but it's a lot of money for one pitcher.
But will that prime last another 6, perhaps 7 years?
I think so, but the question is what's going to be around him at that point. What's going to be left to spend, and that's obvious in that division. The Nationals are going to have a better, younger team. They already do. So it's the Phillies chasing them now, and they're no longer the favorites.
All right. For Chris Barr, I'm Stephen Levine. Thanks again to Sony and their new Xperia Ion smartphone for sponsoring Eye on MLB.